Welcome back to our ongoing chronicle of Werewolf the Apocalypse. This is chapter 18 of our story. If you need a synopsis of what happened last episode, please go listen to it. But if you don't have time for that, you can check out Dee's synopsis. It does a great job on our Obsidian portal page. Link in the description. And without further ado, we're going to get into it. 6 o'clock. Following day, Colorado Springs. On the news, a report. In a significant reversal of plans, Beckert Biolabs has announced the abandonment of its proposed Lago Acres Wolf Sanctuary in Colorado Springs following a devastating arson attack and protest. The company, known for its endeavors in wildlife conservation and medical research, has decided to redirect its resources and attention towards relocating the $250 million medical facility to Chicago, Illinois. The decision comes in the wake of a tragic arson accident that we reported on yesterday at the site of the proposed sanctuary, which resulted in the loss of life and extensive damage to the facility. Security guards tasked with protecting the premises lost their lives in the blaze, prompting Beckert Biolabs to reassess its operations in the region. Then a British man, appears on screen, being interviewed at a press conference. We are deeply saddened by the events that transpired at Upland Sanctuary site in Colorado Springs. The safety of our personnel, however, and the integrity of our projects are non-negotiable. Regrettably, we cannot continue our operations in the face of such violence and opposition. And he leaves, and, everybody's, trying to get him to come back, and it's a very short interview. The proposed wolf sanctuary had faced staunch opposition from local residents and interest groups, with concerns centered around the potential reintroduction of wolves into the area and its ecological ramifications. Protests had intensified in recent days, culminating in the arson attack that ultimately led to the abandonment of the sanctuary plans. And then they move on to the next story.
They are such liars.
Where were the protests? Did we ever get around to organizing one?
No, that's just what they're saying to cover up the fact that they got their asses kicked.
Monica looks pretty... You're staring off into space. You okay?
Yeah, I was listening. I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was thinking that we kind of were trying to spread the word about a protest before that
forgot
plan
about
went
that.
bad. So maybe some actually did happen.
Yeah, maybe there was a protest, but
No, we're not a part of.
That's true. That is a good question. Was there a
Possibly.
protest?
There hadn't been yet that you know of.
yeah.
Huh.
But it's like they got ahead of it to blame someone else.
I mean, what we did is still can be arguably be a protest.
That's true.
I feel like though we have fulfilled our vow that we made.
Yeah, the birdies were back.
Oh, how the pissy birdies? Yeah,
Well, if you remember, Roderick came out.
that's
and
right. He
said
did. Yes,
that,
yes.
they're they're
still
not happy
mad.
still, but they'll get over it in time. Time works differently for them. They thought you took hundreds of years when you didn't.
We can't. It's like the parent that you can't ever get their approval.
I mean, really, it took us technically a month, right?
Something
They're
like
about,
that.
but it's still a long time from when they asked you in their minds.
Yeah,
I know.
time
but-
is jacked up on their side.
It is, but it's like that approval, like the parent approval that you're constantly trying to get, and they're always like, no, you do what I ask, but not how I wanted you to do it.
Well, in some ways, I kind of feel like the birdies because the game itself has taken us. When did we start this thing? September of last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And from September of last year until this in May is technically in game a month and a half or so
we
worth
are
of
the
time.
birdies.
We've been the birdies this whole time.
Whoa. Mind trip.
Has it really been almost 8 months?
Yeah, but we've had
taken breaks.
We've had
we've
breaks.
We've had adult stuff.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of breaks, and every week is 1 day of
Right,
time.
right.
So 7 weeks is a week.
Yeah.
And we plan
7
a lot.
Yeah.
Is 1 week. Does that
That's
make
fair.
Yeah.
We plan a lot though too.
Yeah, we sit around and just think about what the next step's gonna be for an episode, or charging a
Well,
spirit bomb in Dragon Ball Z.
Well, after the spirit bomb has been launched in Dragon Ball Z, inevitably there's always a few episodes of what happens to them after the big bad is gone. So I kind of want to make the rounds around the table and see what your characters would want to pursue next. And Adam, if you're ready, we'll see what Vaughn was looking at. If not, if you need more time, that's okay. If somebody knows.
I'm ready.
You're ready?
You know what I was doing.
Yeah, come back to me.
You know
Okay.
what the fuck I was doing. You know I want to go to Marble, Colorado, where 2 wolves were shot and I need to hunt poachers.
Sure.
That's it.
Okay. So you want to go to Marble?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You got it. What about Nyx?
Nyx, it kind of depends on other stuff that's going on. Like, has Judge got somebody that's going to manage the inn? Has Sarah decided she wants to manage the inn?
Girly Pop, you sold the inn.
I
It's not
know.
your problem anymore.
But I told Judge that I would train the next person.
Oh, my bad.
Like, I did promise to do
Yeah,
that.
I'm curious as to what Sarah did. She ever?
Yes.
What was
We
her
have to know what
decision?
Sarah
I think
did.
that'll be a conversation for us to have in game.
Oh.
All right.
Ooh,
Okay, well, then I don't know what Nyx has been doing then,
Okay.
because it's going to depend.
Do you want to come to Marble?
I guess I could have. I probably should. Green Eyes probably shouldn't go to Marble by herself. Maybe Nyx did go to Marble.
Depending on the timeline.
Depending on the timeline.
Well, and this is all happening now. So
Oh, okay.
This is what are your immediate plans? Not what does the character move on to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it still depends. We got to have conversations because I don't know.
How about Judge?
I think the immediate Judge would probably want to talk to Sarah and find out what's her plan. What is she going to do? Because what she does will also depend on what Judge does, because Judge is closely tied to her son Taylor.
Yep. All right, Adam.
Well, I'm still technically, I guess, trying to pursue Glastonbury, and I'm trying to. What I need to find out is what this, because my character has to go across the board. What has to go where? What country am I at? I forgot.
Was it Columbia?
Columbia.
Yeah, you're going
Columbia?
to Columbia.
Yeah, and I still have like a week or something until
Less than that now.
less than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really have. I need to know. It's like
I'll put it this way: Vaughn is blue-balled right now,
right.
a little bit, because they're moving operations to Chicago.
Right.
They're pulling up stakes in Colorado, taking about 300 jobs with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a devastating blow to Colorado Springs. It sucks. But it also sets you back, because and I'll let you make some rolls here in a minute. From what you discover, there will be some setbacks,
Okay.
and we'll get into that. So
Yeah. In a way, I don't know what my next step is.
sure. Well, let's play these out. Okay, you two kind of are combined, I think. So we'll deal with y'all in a moment. We're gonna go a couple days till everything gets sorted. You know, there's life that has to be lived. In the meantime, who's going to Marble?
Yes.
Oh, no one? Okay.
No, hang on. I was writing. I'm sorry.
What are we
it's
going
I don't
for?
mind. Do we need to go? Do we all need to go to Marble?
We're killing poachers. Of course, that was a
Green
long
Eyes
time
wants
ago.
to kill poachers.
Yes.
Should we go to Marble? Are we gonna let Green Eyes go to
If-
Marble by herself?
If Green Eyes ask us,
Would you like to come to Marble with me to kill some poachers?
Judge would go, because
Yeah.
Judge is not going to let if
Same.
Green Eyes asks, he's absolutely
That's true.
going
I
to
would
go.
Yeah.
ask. Yeah. I bet this is
And
something
this
she's
is
been talking
important.
about.
It's something that she's passionate about. We probably haven't
Sure.
seen her be passionate about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, except killing.
Yeah, except for just
But this is
killing
also
people. But this is
killing.
killing, but
With
it's
the
Now I'm riding
purpose.
high and I'm like, let's continue the streak. Let's go.
I mean, I feel like we should go as a pack. I don't.
All right.
Is Sarah going?
She will not be able to because of job, but she does, support what you're doing. If you go on the weekend, she could probably do it, but this is going to be a day or two away from her kid. She's going to have to do some legwork and look around.
Yeah. I mean, are we going to, Green Eyes, that's a question for Green Eyes. Are we going to try to arrange it so Sarah can come with, or is she just going to sit this one out?
Sarah, do you want to come kill poachers with us?
I mean, if I'm needed, I guess I could.
I would like to go as soon as possible. So if that means you gotta stay, I think it's probably better that you stay.
I mean, I had trouble. I could stay with Taylor. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think
I could watch your inn, if that's.
Don't look at Nick.
I think I want to talk to you about it when we get back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you get back, but
Do you want, well, you've already had the quick rundown, so has Nick's given you the keys yet?
yeah, I would imagine. So.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, well, in that case,
Yeah, it's probably just been boarded up or shut or
it's
locked.
just been locked. I mean, I doubt it's been
Everything's locked.
boarded.
Yeah, not boarded, but it's been locked up.
Yeah, it's just been
you know,
locked up.
we're at game time. We're still in the cold part of the year.
Yeah, like
And,
it's probably fine for it to have been closed
It's
for a
not
few
big
days.
time tourist season as it is right
Right.
now. So, you. She says, yeah, for whatever I need to do, I'll do it. It's fine. That way everything's taken care of. I'll get it done. And she goes to do that. And says, Taylor, we're gonna stay at a hotel for the weekend. Cool. Can I bring my Switch? Yes. And that's set up.
Okay.
So, Vaughn, I don't know if it would be in your interest
I was thinking that.
to go.
Probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
'Cause he has people he has to report to, like, what are you doing right now? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm in fucking Marble, Colorado.
This will
Murdering
be
people.
Yeah, this will be a very short interlude, because the pools to harm humans are so high that I'm not even going to bother making the rolls.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's just that there is a small blurb about some hunters being lost, in Marble, that father and son,
Oh, ouch.
There
Bo
you
and
go.
Dale Cartwright, are missing.
They
How
fucked
old was
around.
How old
Bo
was
was
the kid?
53 and his son was in his 30s.
Oh, okay. Never
Who
mind.
cares? Who cares? Boo.
Did he have a grandson?
Let's.
No,
Okay.
no, and it shows like two big fat rednecks, that-
Okay.
They're killing wolves illegally. Come
Yeah.
on, let's not make them good guys.
And that's true. They are illegally hunting.
Yeah, but they are missing. And, if anyone has the information, please report.
Well, Green Eyes can lick them wounds back together, and we're a little bit better prepared to.
Or fuck them up in lupus form so it looks like they got what they fucking deserved.
Well,
Stop more.
But then-
That
poachers.
seems like a terrible idea.
Yeah, because then they're gonna hunt more wolves.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
gonna
Oh,
take their
fuck,
man
you're right.
eaters.
Yeah.
Even though,
Yeah.
like,
Lick the
natural
wounds.
consequences would be deemed like, you fuck around, you're gonna find out. But
Yeah, just make it seem like they had a heart attack. Put a couple cheeseburgers on their
yeah, good call.
chest or something.
Yeah. Don't eat the cheeseburgers. No,
They
Green
went
Eyes.
to Johnny Poppers. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they had the rock and roll nachos. They rocked and rolled on the ground.
Oh.
Ah.
But yeah, I mean, we could play that out, but you guys would murder them. I mean, and in short time, you are back. Green Eyes, how do you feel knowing that they're not around anymore? At least the ones you think did it.
I'm hungry for more.
Okay?
Because I know there's always more out there. But I do feel glad that I got rid of 2. What? This was her life.
This is true.
Her canon event. What turned her into a werewolf was
true.
poachers. So it has to be battled.
So in a way, I guess it fills that void, and you feel retribution for a moment, but then
Yes.
it's fleeting.
Yes, because I know that there's no way that I can kill every poacher in the world.
And these probably weren't the ones that got your family either.
No, and I have no way of finding those.
Yeah.
So you're gonna
But I can keep trying.
keep killing, keep going.
Yeah.
That's why I laughed.
I'm proud of her.
I know.
Yeah. Like, how long, what would Green Eyes' lifespan be? Like, is it going to be like a wolf lifespan?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
So yeah, she probably the urgency.
What is she? She's
Seven.
Seven?
She's 7.
7. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
She better get to killing.
Yeah, I got a lot of catching up
And
to
that's
do.
maybe something y'all never thought about or discussed before as a pack.
No.
How did that translate when she looks like a human?
Yeah, do I look old?
She looks, in years, she would look to be in her 30s, yeah.
Well, 30s right now.
Oh, sorry. You know, you'd be,
That's just what I've been.
yeah, it'd be like, 30s, 40s. You look somewhere in there.
So as you started aging in your Hammond form, we probably would have started putting 2 and 2 together if it didn't come up.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, this is.
Because it's what, 7 years human year per dog year?
But then I would be 49.
Yeah.
But I'm fucking ripped. so I
But
look
that's, the
that's
thing.
true. You're
Dog
very
years
healthy.
don't really translate
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I don't
you
know
know.
what wolf years translate.
Yeah, like dogs don't really start showing gray
Also,
and
I'm
getting
fucking
old like that till like
supernatural.
10. you know.
Right.
You would look like you're in your 30s, 20s, late
Yes.
20s, early 30s.
That's absolutely true. Okay, so that's a Debbie Downer for the pack.
Yeah. The pack puts Green Eyes down to sleep.
Oh my God!
I'm
no!
just kidding.
We're going to the farm. Come on.
Where you can
Is this where
hunt
the poachers are?
poachers
Yeah.
all day
Yeah.
out.
There's poachers everywhere. You
There's
can just.
cheeseburgers and poachers.
That's some shit Nix would say. It's just crying. Why are you crying? I'm just so happy.
that you're going to this paradise.
Right.
Me too. You want to come with me?
Eventually,
I'll see you there.
yeah.
We've got some time still.
Yes.
We've got some
Yeah,
time. But yeah.
Sorry, I
that's-
brought that up.
That's your lineage. I mean, yeah. 10, 12 years maybe.
Maybe if we
15 if she's lucky.
so we need to switch to the Impossible Burgers, is what I'm hearing.
They're just as bad. They're worse.
Fuck.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's got
but-
more cholesterol.
Yeah.
Oh
Are
shit.
werewolves
Yeah.
worried about cholesterol?
That one's not.
I mean, that's true. Odds are we're gonna die a violent death
Yeah.
long before then.
Yeah, as is evident of your lost pack mate.
Yeah.
And the
Oh, yeah.
lost, the
Who's that
lost members of your sept.
Yeah, we outlived a lot of wolves.
Yeah.
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 And it's one thing we drove home in the start of this game. The vampire's life is long and patient. The life of a werewolf is short and violent.
Mm-hmm.
There's not long games in this. It's action now, because now is all you have.
No
That's
wonder the-
why this game lasted like 18 episodes.
Yeah, that's about our run. It's
Yeah.
18 to 25.
I
somewhere in
just
there.
meant because like we do have like 3 to 2 episodes, so like runs where we're like, all right, what are we actually gonna do here?
Yeah,
So like
True.
action
yeah.
now ish.
no wonder the birds are pissed. They're like, everybody else would have been fucking dead by now. God.
Well, we wanted to do it right.
And we did, it seems. Let's get back
Yeah,
to
sorry.
arriving in Colorado Springs and arriving at the Moonglow Inn. You both there?
Mhm.
Sarah's there. Taylor's there. He's staying in the one of the nicer, inn suites because he wanted to. He's still up there doing his thing, playing games and being a tween. And Sarah has cleaned well. It looks like things are picked up. Hardly any sign that maybe someone else lived here besides you.
Oh, that was nice of her. That was really kind. She's like, I'm gonna sanitize them. Who's Jada? Who's this bitch?
And it kind of feels that way. That she knew that was a tremendous loss for you. And that maybe this would help. She doesn't mention it,
Yeah. But it's nice.
but you definitely notice. So I'm not even going to make you roll. And she looks at you, Judge, and says, so about this, and you wanting me to do this, what are we looking at? If I were to.
I would assume we would get you a salary that's better than what you're getting paid right now at the. She work at a hospital or a clinic?
Hospital.
At the hospital. And that way you can shut it down wherever you need to. If you feel like you need more help, we can possibly get you some help too, depending on how much will depend on how well this does. I haven't. Yeah. I'll let my guy settle all that, but
you'd be my boss.
I don't want to deal with any of this from a management standpoint.
So I would be.
You would be the boss. Just as long as and my guy would just check to make sure that it's running the right way in terms of my finances.
And she says, well, I need to show you something in the kitchen. Nix, can you hang on a sec? And she comes back there and she says, what about her?
For now, I think there's too many memories in this house for her to stay here.
Yeah.
That's the sense I get. I think she said she would help train you with anything that you might not be sure about.
I'm going to need that. I don't know how much, but I don't know anything about running this.
Sure.
Something like this. If she can do that, that's appreciated.
But it also may give you guys a chance to get to know one another better.
I'm thinking about that too.
Sure.
I think she'll be a great friend.
Cool.
I think I understand something about myself, but maybe she'll be a great person that understands that I can talk to about this.
Sure.
I don't know where that'll lead, but I think I need that. And I don't think she needs that.
Not right now. Judge would, I think, give her a hug. Just reach her in, embrace her.
And she hugs you hard too.
Yeah.
She says, I picked the wrong brother.
Oh.
I think Judge would just kind of be like, but we got Taylor.
Aww.
That's right. We did.
Sweet.
And that's what I always remember.
And then I think Judge would let her go and tell Nix, hey, I'm going to go up and see Taylor, hang out with him, and go play some game and let Taylor destroy me because Judge sucks at video games.
Okay.
I feel bad for Sarah. She's like traumatized from this past relationship. Like,
of course.
Big time.
Yeah.
And
I hope I brought that across.
Oh, yeah, you absolutely did. And it just makes me feel really bad for her. And I think Nix would feel really bad for her, too. Not that Jada... Well, I think Nix traumatized Jada. This is not exactly the character... I think Nix is traumatized from having traumatized it. Even before the whole, like, hey, I'm a werewolf thing. Mm-hmm. Like, just the whole, like, trying to keep some sort of connection traumatized Jada. And I think that traumatized Nix. Before the obvious fuck up, though. Like, before the you think aspect of the traumatized. I think there was a lot of trauma induced from... One, Jada even said, this kind of weird limbo...
Yeah.
Of where everything was at.
From a very young age. And
right.
Like holding on to each other.
Right. And I think that's... I think Nix maybe is traumatized from the fact that it has to be completely done. There's never going to be any friendship. There's certainly never going to be anything else more than that. Like, they cannot be around each other, period, anymore. Mm-hmm. And I think that's traumatizing, but yeah, I think she feels traumatized from having traumatized Jada.
Yeah.
Before she overtly traumatized. If that makes sense.
It does. Yep. It does.
So, but no, I guess Nix will ask Sarah if she's taken over.
Yeah. I think I'm going to do it.
That's awesome. You did a really good job the last time you filled in. Like, I think you really have a knack for this.
I appreciate it. It's a different way of taking care of people, I guess.
It is. It really is. And I mean, I'm going to be honest, like, when I used to own it, obviously it was, LGBT, plus, I don't figure you have an issue with that, or it would have come up before, but, just, it's going to be a lot of your clientele. So
I think we'll be fine.
awesome. And I told Judge that, I'd stay on long enough to help get you, trained, anything you have questions about, so, and I mean, right now it's kind of dead. You can, we can easily be a 1-2 person show. Busy season, we might have to look into getting some extra help, but I mean, you'll be the manager, so you can just, pawn this off on anybody. We got to go shit to do.
Yeah, I kind of want to see what I can do with it. I've got some ideas. But I'll appreciate the help.
Yeah, anytime. Just let me know what you need.
Yeah. Well, I'll pay you.
It's fine.
I'll pay you. I've got to make manager decisions.
Okay, that's true. Okay.
I'll pay you a consulting fee.
All right, you're the boss.
Yeah, I'm the boss.
You are. We'll get a new management sign.
Yeah.
I don't know. Doesn't that usually mean the other old management was shitty?
I mean, I don't know that I'd give myself any awards or anything. I mean, I traumatized the shit out of my co-owner, and
Well, most of the time I see that happen is when a restaurant's been shit or something like that, and then they are letting people know, hey, it's different. Please come back.
I guess that's true. I mean, we do have a few return clientele.
I hope we can get some more.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure you'll do great.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, I'm certainly going to appreciate the help.
Oh yeah, just anytime. Just let me know what you need, when you need me here. Obviously, the only time I'm doing shit is if we're all doing shit. So.
Sure. Well, I think there'll be more time for that too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And Vaughn, you
Yes.
decided to what? You have an option. I'll put it this way.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to go to Columbia. That's happening. When you get back, what are your plans?
After Columbia,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm going to Chicago and just kind of like just watching.
You have your own time when you're back. They usually give you time after assignments to decompress and do what you want.
Yeah. I think I'm following. I'm not going to be making any crazy moves, but I'm just going to be watching the situation and monitoring and waiting, and kind of just waiting to plot what my next move's going to be
Yeah.
with Glastonbury and how to.
Well, we'll give you this little tidbit. I'm going to take half. I know you've got plenty for, your investigation skills. You do understand that he's moving to Chicago. You do see that they are moving their operations to that site that they were shipping the snap to. But as far as what you can find, you're not seeing any of the manufacturing of that happening anymore in Chicago. So what's going on there, you're not sure, but it is kind of like whatever happened scared them enough to straighten up a bit.
So Glastonbury's on the up and up now?
No, far from it. There are still shell corporations. There are still unethical hush money payments to people for, drug interactions or, death that has happened from people taking experimental substances. There's still this looming entity of the fact that Beckert is a subsidiary of this company called Pentex. And as you look into them further, you only see more and more signs of the worm.
Yeah.
So, but they're but a branch. And that's the thing, is when you see how far the rabbit hole goes, it's a little disheartening, I'm sure.
Do I just take a Hirano for that pretty much?
No. It's more of a testament to what this game has been since the beginning. is that you stop this here, but two things sprout up over here. It is indeed the head of the Hydra. It's not that you're creating the problems, it's just that they keep growing.
Mm-hmm.
And that you're fighting against a dying light, but you still fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think even out of all of that, that's why Vaughn is still watching, making, I don't want to say pacts, but like, you know, meeting the werewolves.
Right.
It's in the same way as like he did in Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
Like trying to
Try to get an in Chicago.
Yeah. And see what the situation is. Like his story would, I think, continue. It's like he almost as if he's like a CIA like vagabond kind of like where does it take him? Like where does the rabbit hole
Gotcha.
lead to sort of thing.
Does he still keep in touch though?
Yeah, I think every now and then he would
Okay.
Yeah,
he would send information
Yay.
since
And I
you
think
guys had since you guys knew about Glastonbury.
Yeah.
I would,
yeah. And if he needed action, I'm assuming we would all go be there.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
a backup
true.
for you and the Chicago gang.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if we wanted to go as a pack and move and go to Chicago, but
Oh, I just
you
meant like
have
if there's some
roots.
war that happens there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And you're like, let me get my buds from the previous movie.
Right.
And then it'll be a
Right.
crossover.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking too.
Okay.
Yeah.
When Avengers assemble, you guys come through the
Yeah.
portal.
The portal,
Right.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
On
it's
your
the
left, Vaughn.
Yeah.
I am Green Eyes.
We needed that song, the Green
She's fucking got dementia
Yeah.
now.
Oh, the joints are swollen.
All she says is, I am Green Eyes.
No,
I'm
we
sorry.
we give her the doggy joint treats
CBD.
Yeah. Oh, man.
with glucosamine and stuff in it.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe we've reached the end of this tale.
Sorry, I had to get one last one in there.
I like to do this as we wrap up all of our games. I like to kind of do the round table thing where, you know, if people are interested, we discuss if they've hung with us and maybe they want to play their own werewolf game. We kind of go over what we liked, what we didn't like, what you would have liked to have seen in a werewolf game. I'm certainly open to criticism. So I guess I'll start and I'll open the floor to anybody. Overall thoughts on Werewolf?
Fun.
I liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I liked it a lot more than I thought I would, actually.
Okay. Yeah.
Just because I don't usually gravitate towards more combat heavy games is all.
Yeah.
But this was really fun. It wasn't cumbersome.
Yes,
Combat.
and it had more role playing than I was worried about. Because
That's
that's
true.
my favorite thing is the role playing and creating a character who has, you know, hopes and dreams and shit like that and trauma, and I was able to do that perfectly fine with this, even being a fucking wolf, being born as a wolf. It was really fun to do something different from what I've done before.
Yeah, Green Eyes was my favorite. I say that every time with your characters.
It had a lot of action.
Yeah.
and we still had role playing.
Oh, yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Jeff, did you have a good time?
I did. I had a great time.
Good. Adam? Minus
Yeah.
losing
Yeah,
your
I
character.
actually lost.
Yeah, you got to
losing
play
a
two
character
characters.
was kind of interesting.
How was it?
Well,
Creating two and
I
playing
mean,
two.
The first character, Alex, was more trying to was more of a character. Even though like I am the absolute worst at building backstories and stuff. The Andre character from Vampire, the little that was there is a testament to like what like when I am try like I don't know, the backstory stuff is as me as a player, I just kind of like to just be in the moment and feel it and just feel the story of it.
Yes.
And I just kind of make the character as it goes.
Sure.
And that's the one thing. So I don't want to make this about Vampire, but that was the thing with Vampire as Andre, a new guy. His story unfold essentially without
with the story.
with the story. Like, so technically my backstory, if Andre were to actually be in another game, would be that campaign.
Yes.
So with Alex, I had a little bit of an idea when we were creating him. With Vaughn, it became I don't want to say like I was necessarily metagaming it, but I was definitely thinking about like him as a tool, essentially. I was you know, and his whole character was kind of a secret with the CIA agent aspect of it and everything, and so he was kind of there to kind of help fill in a gap, fill in the hole, and that was left by Alex and everything. With all that in mind, though, I think I had a good time with it, but I had a hard time trying to balance out and with my character how to play it in a way with the role playing and the combat, because I kept jumping between like, okay, we're werewolves, so we go in and we fuck everything up. But there's the consequences aspect of it. So it's like, well, hold on, we need to pull back because we keep fucking things up and actually fucking things up. So now we need to chill and try to figure this out. But then when we're planning too much, stuff happens, like our protest idea at the very end here. Okay, we're going to cause this protest and we're going to do this undercover and we're going to sneak in and do this. And the more that we did that, the more it was like, 2 of the hearts have already been used.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess we just need to go in now. And then it feels like with the way that went, going in was what we should have done like 5 episodes ago.
There are reasons we didn't want to. I think we were very concerned
there's
about
always
the Nexus crawler. So
I think you guys did fine. I understand. I have to put your feet to the fire because I know you all, love you all, but I know that it'll be another 4 episodes if I don't put a sense of urgency at some point.
No, absolutely.
100% every time. Yeah.
And it's balancing that sense of urgency with going in without a plan.
Correct. And I want to give you that opportunity, but I also don't want to leave you too much time where you're overthinking.
Right.
everything.
And I think it's like learning that balance, because I think like in Vampire, even though we waited a long time on that Sabbat thing, but I feel like, I don't know, I can't really even name any good examples of it. Sometimes I feel like we do go in with such a sense of urgency. We don't have a plan, and it ends up backfiring on us. And so then we pull back from like, okay, wait a minute.
We have a very good memory of all the times we fuck up. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even
in
Werewolf, we did that 3 times where we did it with Trip or whatever. Track Morrison, and then we did it again with the big fight in the
Kevin. Yeah. With your dad.
Yeah, in the park, and we caused all kinds of crazy shit. Had you not used that thing, God only knows how much different of a campaign this would have been.
It would have been a very different campaign.
We would have had something called Project Twilight rolling in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would have been. I liked Vaughn. I liked Deckard too, but I really liked Vaughn as a character. I think he did kind of bring that balance between balls to the wall and caution.
Yeah, and then let's do this to where we actually make progress,
right,
and not think we make progress and then bring the hammer down.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I think that character. Don't get me wrong, we wouldn't have got where we got without Deckard in that character. But I definitely think Vaughn brought a very good sense of balance to the pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you said like to fill a role, but I mean they filled them in way different ways than the 2 characters did.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I feel like the Vaughn character ended up becoming almost like a mentor to the pack.
I think so
Everyone
too.
kind of like looked to him for like, how do we do this?
Well, he brought this sort of vibe of
like
here's how to do it right.
Yeah,
right.
Chill out and think about it. Whereas like we were all at least relatively younger.
Well, and we hadn't been a pack just for that huge amount of time before the campaign started.
And half our friends have been wiped out. So we were like kind of scrambling.
Exactly. Like I definitely think Vaughn did become kind of a mentor because he brought a new perspective, that wasn't, we're going to stubbornly adhere to the old way and we're just going to piss in the wind and, you know, do whatever we want. Like there was a balance to it that he brought to, yes, you can fuck shit up, but, you know, work smarter, not harder about it.
Right. And I think that came through in the last... if anything, that last battle from last episode is essentially the culmination of our journey. Not just in terms of, like, you know, killing Michael Stooges of the Soul, but in terms of, like, us trying to find the balance and the rhythm of, like, being a werewolf. How to do that, like, and fuck up, you know, by the Biolabs.
Yeah, Beckert.
Without, like, yeah, they still on the news can blame. That's just the way it works. But it was mission successful because we found the balance.
Yeah.
We went into the Umbro, got out, and we, you know, Green Eyes really had the big save with having that licking the wounds thing, and then us just burning everything.
I should have bought that a while ago. I did not turn the page to look at the rest of the abilities.
Well, I think that's a kind of an interesting thing with Werewolf is because, I wanted to bring that home, and I'm glad it was picked up on, is that, yes, you are murder machines. I mean, even in the rules itself, it says they can auto kill, take half on fights, and just win. You know, and we did it. And you are more powerful than, as far as just pure aggression and kill, than any other supernatural out there in the World of Darkness games. It's no contest. But every problem is not something that can be solved with teeth and claw. And even when the ones that are, there are consequences to that. And having that come across, and how, yes, you are this thing that you can crank it up to 11, but you can't, and you have to be careful. And what do you do with that? You know, you're a time bomb. It can go off at any moment, but you have to still live in, you know, essentially 3 worlds in some ways. You know, 4 if you count the spirit world in a lot of ways. You know, if you're a wolf, you're living in that world in a way. If you're human, which we played primarily a human story because it's easier to do, you're living in that way. You know, you're a guru. You're living there. And not only that, you have to deal with the Umbra. You've got all these different things coming at you, you know, and yeah, it causes for some complexity. But I'm glad we didn't I didn't give you analysis paralysis for too long. Hope I didn't.
It helps that we are not weak. I will say, like, playing a fucking badass murder character is something I hardly ever do, and it felt pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
To just be like, I'm ready to go in and kill. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's freeing.
Yeah, it's way different than what you played with Iris.
Oh, yeah. Iris was like, oh, fuck. If we fucking step outside, we're going to die. We can't do this. And that's where a lot of the analysis paralysis came in. Like, how can we stay alive? Mm-hmm. But with this, I'm like, how can we kill as many people as possible?
Right.
And the funny thing about that is that in the game where you can be a big crazy murder machine, I picked 2 characters that, like, I felt, and it's probably just within me, but I felt like I was, like, technically the weakest, even though Vaughn with the bullets.
Oh, yeah, Vaughn with bullets for sure. But yeah,
Vaughn was strong. Deckard mainly.
In a fight, poor baby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I built him, like, for
he was
that.
built different.
He was built different. And not in a really good way. In that,
a good tech way.
In a good tech way, but not in a good fight way.
He was just niche.
It was very different than, again, Vampire Andre, who I punch things and it hurts.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna take care of myself.
We didn't do a lot of fighting in Vampire, but when we did,
you wanted
mainly
it
when I punched somebody, it went through them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like potent. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like, so I did the opposite there. So it was funny in the Werewolf Killing Machine game. I did not feel that. I was like,
Yeah.
hey guys, can we
Hey,
think
we
about
need
this
to-
for a
we
second?
need to be
Because I
careful.
might die. And I did.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of did something similar in that, like, I played a character that was charisma based.
Yeah, that's. I was thinking about that just now.
And and honestly, like, had to do it over. I don't know that I would do that because, like, I didn't get to use a lot of it, and a lot of the stuff. Had I been paying attention, don't think I would have went that way because
the cops.
Yeah, it saved us a few times.
It
but
saved
like,
us a few times.
But like, you can't do half the stuff in combat, and that's what like I think before we played on recording, we did that a few times where it was like, oh, I stopped them in the middle.
Right.
Well, we can't actually do that, but
Right.
I think also it would have been different if we had more Geru to interact
Right.
with. Like if we had more like
Well-
political or
well, we
like,
did at the start, and
Yes.
then
Yeah.
the Nexus crawler ate
and then
everybody.
it changed drastically.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
wonder what I feel like you would. I would
Yeah,
have
and
been
that's-
interesting to see you interact more with like the
Yeah,
other.
and that's kind of why I made him. Is like, oh, I
Yeah.
thought we're going to a place, and we did for the first few episodes, and we were kind of in that situation, and then we were still all filling out our characters, and then the Nexus caller was like, I'm going to eat all your
Well,
Geru in Colorado Springs.
I tell you what, I would be interested in seeing if we come back to this and we decide to keep our same characters, because we do that sometimes. Is there's kind of a power vacuum in Colorado Springs.
That's true.
Yeah, see-
We kind
And
of
see, I
threw all
think
that to
Judge
the
is
side.
positioned
That-
to kind of end up on top
So-
because he is so charismatic.
That was honestly, we didn't talk about like long term, but that was kind of, I was going to be like, well, Judge is going to try to like make our Karen the central Karen,
Yeah.
and be
I-
like, all right, guys, we're the pact. Y'all come to us. We handle stuff.
So
Yes.
it's no longer the Garden of the Gods,
Yeah.
right?
Well, and that got abandoned. But the
But
bait
what's
and
his
switch
name
was a
was there?
plan for a long time. Is just to be, you had in Vampire. I wanted it to be very starkly different in a lot of ways.
Yes.
You know, we didn't
Mentors
have that
in this.
mentor
You didn't
character.
have mentors. You didn't have. You were on your own. And I think you did great. But I also understood why you were scared, because it's like, well, who do we turn to?
Yeah.
They're
What
all
are we
dead.
supposed to do?
It literally got to a point where we were turning to my character
Yep.
because he is a CIA agent.
The newest player.
And I think your character was like older, wasn't he? Too, he was like 30, late 30s.
He's like 38.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I mean,
so-
that's
Yeah,
old for a
older.
werewolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're that old and you're coming in, so we're immediately like, oh, this man's a badass.
Yeah. Oh, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
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 Because you don't get that old as a guru by being a dumbass, that's for sure. So, yeah. But no, I would be interested on the leadership skills that Judge took to see how that would progress, because I think it would be very interesting to
That
see
would be
how that
cool.
worked out.
Well, and honestly, and that's a fault of mine. I should have looked a little harder at what you had on your sheet. Is that I was hoping that it would give you more opportunity to use those, because you were the leader now. You know.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think that's because Judge would just say something and be like, you know what, you're right, Judge. So he wouldn't have to use
That's
any
true.
of it.
He
He
Yeah.
didn't have
Yeah.
to convince us of shit.
Right.
there was a
Right,
lot
You're
you
right.
did not rolling.
Yeah.
To that credit, that just ended up being role playing, and it
That's-
worked
Yeah,
out.
because
That's true.
we're like,
'Cause
our
we
leader.
trusted you. Yeah, we were just like, that makes sense.
Well, and I mean, and there were times where like we would interact with somebody, and Ryan would be like, "Oh, okay, no roll necessary. That was a good whatever." And I was like,
Yeah.
"All right,
You
cool."
did it.
Yeah,
You did it
yeah,
naturally.
exactly.
Well, and that's something I think I've learned about myself recently about with these games, because we won't get into this too much because this is a whole other podcast. But about mechanics and what's under the hood. And for the longest time, I thought, well, the authors of these games, they write them in a certain way because they want you to get a certain thing out of them. Well, the fact of the matter is that really mechanics are just what are the skeleton, but what the meat you put onto it is what you do with that. And there's an interesting podcast that I've started to listen to, mainly actors. You know, it's one of those professional podcasts. So we will never be that.
No.
And that's why we record these, because we want you to understand that it's okay to just have fun with it and do what you do and be the group you want to be. That's what we do. But this group, they're running a D&D game, and it's high role playing, very few rolls. I'll just go ahead and mention it. It's called Stars Without Number. It's very, very character driven. And I would have never in a million years thought to do that with D&D. Because in my mind, D&D it's the fight game. You know, it's the tactical fight game. It comes from a miniatures game, and they just happen to go, well, if you do a miniature game with one miniature, and it's you. Okay, well, that's the game. That's what they build it for, is fighting. But you don't have to. You know, and I think that's where, back to what you're talking about, Jeff, is that why make you roll if you make a convincing argument? You know, why use why we don't have to use the skeleton because the muscle did what it needed to. You know, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's given me something to think about moving forward when we move into other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like that it is there because, like, if I can't think of something to say, I can be like,
Yes.
well,
And roll for it.
Right.
yeah, my character says something charismatic. What does he say? I'm not sure. Can I
Yeah.
roll for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to do that, but yeah, that's true. And I think that's why you do need a skeleton. What makes it a game instead of just an improv group is that you do have rules for those. What do I do?
And the skills that you
Moments.
picked out to navigate.
Right.
To let you know, oh, I'm capable of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or I would like to attempt this. Let's
Right.
see what happens.
Right. And I think that's just the nature of a changing environment with gaming. I think more people are interested in that style of game. I've been interested for a long time, but always still been a gamer first, and kind of older school, been playing these a long time. And, you know, it was more about what you do, you know, in the book that mattered. So changing mentalities, and I'm glad we got to try a few things like that in the game. I do understand about how it does feel like, well, I didn't get to use my cool stuff. Well, you know,
That
Hopefully-
happens every game.
it does.
It does.
Yeah.
I
They'll
had
never
Rite
get to
of
do
Spirit
everything.
Summon. I used that once.
Yeah.
Once.
Yeah.
There's really only, well, I didn't. There was one thing that didn't get to use that I was curious to use, was the odious aroma.
You took the
I
silly
was-
one. That's
Michael
right.
had that. It never works well.
Oh.
At least when I was rolling it for him. It did
Oh, he
stop
rolled
you.
it at us?
Yeah, it did stop a few of you because at the fight with the Nexus
Nexus
Crawler,
Crawler.
a couple of you were like, "Oh, I can't
Yeah.
move forward because it stinks."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ew, he farted.
yeah.
Ugh, what is that?
He ate a skunk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He works tech in the poop center.
yeah. That's right.
Sorry,
Inside
that's an inside
Yeah,
joke. Y'all
it's
don't
okay.
worry about
That
it.
was an off-camera
Yeah.
conversation.
But yeah, I definitely think that my 2 cents on it after hearing it, I enjoyed it. I was worried as well that we wouldn't like it. I'd always had an interest in it, but I'll be quite honest, the old game turned me off when I
Yeah.
would read the old stuff and reading the new book. And I know that's a controversial opinion for some people. But for me personally, and I think our group, we liked what they did. And
Oh, yeah.
I think it's made a good game. And if you're new to the Werewolf game line and want to try something out, I highly recommend giving this a go. They cleaned up a lot of things that needed to be fixed in Vampire, you know, because it uses the same stuff kind of under the hood
Yep.
for the most part. So, yeah, I think it's a good thing. I definitely recommend it. Any other closing thoughts or anything anybody wants to share?
Well, is there? I mean, there's still technically a lot of. Well, I mean, I don't know about a lot, but there's still maybe some loose ends of questions within the storyline that I don't know if we're interested in. But I don't know if we're gonna pick this up. If we want to just stick a pin in it and come back to it later.
I mean, we can talk about them. If you want answers, I'm happy with that. You know, I won't be able to do everything. You know, there's maybe certain things I can't tell you, or maybe certain things I haven't figured out. You know,
Yeah. The main one that I want to know is that, okay, so Glastonbury he's not a vampire, obviously.
I cannot tell you anything about that. That actually does matter for things we do in the future.
Okay.
So with that then that means that we are going to come back to this.
Nope.
Where there's an idea, there's a possibility.
Changeling or some shit.
No, I'll tell you what
Vampire.
I'll spoil this for you now. It is a long time in the future.
Oh.
And I'll spoil it for people that want. You remember Chicago being mentioned here and there, and Werewolf as well? I mean, sorry, Vampire as well. Just little snippets.
We're going to have a Chicago game?
We will. And when we finally get through with our mage game, whenever that happens, it will be.
Oh my
this
God.
is in the future. distant
very
future.
distant future.
Are we gonna be dead by
I
then?
hope not. But
We're gonna be retired.
Ryan's like, if
But-
you're dead, you're dead.
but all these games will have a small tie to Chicago. And when we come to Chicago, you can play a vampire, a werewolf, or a mage.
Ooh, a crossover! This
Yep.
is my multiverse.
I don't know
of
why I'm
madness.
excited. I killed my vampire.
There's a world
You
of
don't have a
darkness.
choice.
There's a world of darkness. The new world of darkness that they did back in the 2000s. They had a book called Chicago by Night.
Yeah.
and it was designed specifically to vampire, werewolf, mage.
Oh my
They
god!
did
How will
not.
I choose?
They did not let you combine them though. You could kind of toy with it, but it didn't work well. The Dresden Files is. I'm a big fan of those books. All the supernatural entities are moving and shaking in that city. It's not going to be a Dresden Files game.
Yeah.
But I do want to try to blend
God,
them.
that'd be cool.
Well, I am pretty happy that I said Vaughn's going to Chicago
I know.
because I could technically pick up Vaughn.
Sure could.
Oh, I could do Ella Maria since
Yeah.
I sent her to Venice.
Yeah. There's tons of things you could do.
I can't choose between my babies.
Well, you don't have to do the babies. You could do a new baby.
Yeah, Bob would not
That's
leave
true.
New Orleans.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
Just-
Iris wouldn't go to
For
Chicago,
some
you're
reason,
right.
just take Pamela.
Yeah, Pamela's like the John Travolta me. I should be
You're
in my
just
bed at
Yes,
breakfast.
you're just in a bee costume. Like, what is this?
Yeah. Yep.
Barry's tried a bunk and it went real wrong.
Yeah,
real fast.
it'll be those three. It won't be. We won't. Changelings are way too out there for that.
They're too pure. Let's
and
keep it
they
separate.
are.
This is under the assumption that Renegade eventually releases a mage game.
Yeah, and that we like it
There are
enough.
hints that I'm sure if you're a big fan of this and you follow their stuff closely, that you've probably seen that they are.
They are hinting hard.
Yeah. I don't think it's anytime in the near future.
Nah.
But once we have played that, that is my next plan.
What?
Interesting.
Multiverse of Madness.
How long are we waiting for this mage game before we give up and just go straight to the?
Don't put that out in the ether.
I'm just asking.
Mage will run its course. I'm not going to push anything fast.
We got plenty of other shit to keep us interested.
Mage
Yeah,
will
we
probably
This,
come out
guys,
Gen Con
this will be, if
2025.
you're listening to this in current year 2024, it may be 2027 before we're there. I
That's
mean,
kind of nuts to think about.
yeah, it is. It's a long way away, but
It doesn't seem that long to me. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Well, in the history of things, no. But I'm
doesn't.
a planner.
Yeah, I love it.
I like to think ahead. I get myself in trouble sometimes doing that, but you know, I feel around the 2025 mark with most of these World of Darkness games. In my opinion, it tells a good story, and I've done games that are longer than that, but then it just becomes so soap opera. Because you're dealing with, remember this thing over here and this thing. And well, we saw it in Vampire a little bit when it was, the culmination of 3 stories that led to
3.5.
3.5.
We had Vegas.
Yeah, right. That led to the end of this. And there's so much background, and we did have, rightfully so, some people being like, well, we have no basis for this. And it's fixed now. But
It's going to be fixed more, but I've got to get through this class I'm in, guys,
Yeah,
and then
yes.
I've got plans to bridge it over.
Yeah,
so.
Is it because we're adding the background?
yeah, we're adding the background in Vampire
yeah.
on the
Dark
Obsidian
Ages
Portal
stuff.
page. We're using that pretty heavily. It's a
Yeah.
great resource for us. And yeah, it's one of those things that, if you don't have the background, it is hard. And so I like to keep it something accessible to people that come in, because I know myself, I've been in that situation where you could step into a game world or a story series or something like that. And it's just been going on so long, you're just overwhelmed with where you come in. And
You're
continuity
not.
gets harder, and I'm going to be honest, my brain's not that great, to keep all those things in. I know Dee was like, that's a master class in storytelling. He's like, no, I just got lucky and took copious notes.
Y'all don't understand though. I've listened to, obviously I was there for all of them, but I'm trying to work them in the portal as much as I can, but the threads upon threads upon threads that were present, it was a masterclass. I don't care what Ryan says. It was a magnum opus of just, you have no idea. So,
Well, thank you.
it definitely, yeah.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad everybody's had a good time with what we've done so far. Just a heads up, our next game, it'll be a smaller thing, just a few sessions, will be Paranoia, just to kind of get a palate cleanser. We always do that in between games. Normally don't record them, but we talked about it and decided we'll just record this one just for the fun of it. So if you're interested in that game and something very different where they have a bunch of clones running around, they stab each other in the back, and the players are actively after each other in some way, shape, or form, join us for that. It'll be an interesting thing to see what shakes out with this group with that. But until we talk about that again, is there anything else anybody else wanted to talk about before we go?
I don't think so.
Nope.
I'm good.
Right. Well, thank you again so much, you guys, for listening. We can't thank you enough for doing that. I know we're a small channel, but trust us when I say this, that I appreciate everybody that listens. I really do. I mean, I've said it to this group a number of times that, I don't care that this thing grows. I would rather have people that really like what we do and enjoy listening than a bunch of thousands of likes of people who could care less. So it's very much appreciated. Thank you for joining us through this. And until we see you again, this is GM Tuck wishing you all a good night. Have a great one, everyone.